What's going on, everybody? We're back for another episode of Coffee Talks, where I curate some of my favorite coffee and leadership talks from some of my favorite people. I got the right shirt on, so we're ready to have a good day. And today we are actually roasting some Sterling coffee roasters. They're based out of Portland. It's kind of a really cool little joint. Everybody that works at Sterling, if you actually do some research, wears formal attire because they want everybody to know that they purchase high quality beans, and it's a high quality that they're putting out there, a product they're putting out there. So it's kind of that perception. And this is a Rwanda, I'm gonna butcher the name, but a Rutsiro Mushonyi. Don't ever Google that one because you know that one's bad. But this is a really good coffee, guys. Like if you grind it up and smell it, you get a little bit of that chocolate. It's not an overpowered chocolate smell, but you smell all the fruits. It's almost like chocolate covered fruit. It's delicious. But then when you actually brew it, you get a lot of real baking spices coming out. It's like a fruit pie. I don't really know what fruit. It's not like one's really popping out. It's like a really strong blueberry in it. It's almost just like a fruit pie with some of those cinnamon spices and those baking spices coming in. It's actually really good, really delicious. Enjoying it. And I'm excited about what we're talking about today. We've been breaking down some Dale Carnegie, how to influence people and win friends. And here's what I want you to know. These are some things that we desperately need this year. And what we're talking about today is, if you can learn this, Dale says, you can have the whole world walking with you. You can get the whole world walking with you. But if you don't, you're going to walk a very lonely path, which means there is a way to act that draws people to you, and you can build a camaraderie, and there's a way to act that pushes people away. And unfortunately, a lot of us push people away. And so we need to learn the art of this. And here's kind of what Dale says. Dale uses this analogy. He says, when I'm going fishing, here's what I don't do. I don't go fishing and go, I wonder what I would like. And then I go and take strawberries and cream and put that on the fishing hook and use that as bait. That makes no sense. He goes, when I'm going fishing, I think, what do the fish want? What do they want? I'm wondering what's going to make them bite. So is it worms? Is it grasshoppers? Is it a special lure? I need to use what they want so that I can attract them to me. And the same is true with people. Like it or not, the only way to influence people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. That's the only way you can influence people. Talk about what you want and show them how to get it. People are inherently selfish. Why, when you get a picture taken, what do? You go look at yourself in that picture because you want to see if you're smiling good. You don't really think about anybody else, right? We care about what's inconvenient for us. We're thinking about our dreams. We care about our interests. And I know that can be sounding like it's a bad thing, but that's just the way people are wired. We are all wired that way. It's why we rush to our phone when we post something on social media to see how many likes we get individually, because that's the rush we want. We don't rush to see what everybody else is doing. We rush to see what we're getting, right? People are that way. It's the way we're wired. So if we know people are wired that way, then we've got to understand that's the way we connect with people. You got to understand this so you can talk to people. Here's what you cannot do. You cannot communicate by telling people what they should do or what they shouldn't do. That's not going to work. What you have to learn to help them do is discover what it is that they really want and what are the activities they need to do to get what they really want, or what are the activities they need to quit doing so they can get what they want. But do you see what you're first doing? You're helping them identify what they truly want in life. I've done a lot of coaching training, and this is the way you kind of coach people. And I love the way Sam Farina, who is the coach training for us, he kind of lays it out like this. He goes, here's the way you should coach somebody to kind of get them at that place of thinking for growth. He goes, you need to ask them, what do you want? Simple question. And then when they give you an answer, you need to say, what's getting in the way? Okay? What do you want? They're going to say, well, I want this. Well, what's getting in the way? And then after they say that, you need to ask them again, what do you really want? Now they're going to elaborate it one step further, and then you're going to say again, what's getting in the way? Okay, now they're thinking on a deeper level. Okay, I know what I really want. One last time, you're going to ask them, what do you really want? What are you trying to do? You're trying to drill into them the desire they want in life. You're trying to drill into them, what is the win? And then what do you say at the very end? You say, what are you willing to commit to do? You're trying to get them to identify the value they want in life. And then what are you saying? Now that they've identified, what do you have to commit to? What is the action? What is the habit? What do you have to commit to so you can get that result? Do you see how we're speaking to their desire to influence them to growth? It's a beautiful thing. It's a healthy thing. It's not a manipulative thing because we're wanting something for them, not something from them. I love this quote from Harry Overstreet. Action springs out of what we fundamentally desire. And the best piece of advice which we can be given to would-be persuaders, whether in business, in home, in school, in politics, is first, cause in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who can't walks a lonely path. That's what I love about understanding the needs of people. John Maxwell used an example. He says, I have two passions in life: leading people to Jesus and teaching people how to be the best leaders possible. And he goes, many times I find myself in a fully secular place teaching people leadership. And it's not always appropriate for me to be able to sit and talk about my faith because you know what? I got to respect who brought me in. So he says, I do things like this. I speak to their desires so that I can open up their hearts to what I know they truly want, which is a relationship with God. So he'll say things like this at the end of his meeting. He'll go, guys, I'm going to give you 4 keys to the greatest success. But today I'm only going to tell you 3 of them. And he says the first 3 are great leadership principles. I mean, they are so good. They're taking notes. And then he says, when I get done with 3, they go, hey, didn't you say there was 4? He goes, yeah, but you know, it's kind of a personal one and it's probably not at a good place to share it right now. Well, we want to know. And he goes, yeah, but I'm going to be honest. It's about my faith. And, you know, I'm not comfortable talking about that. And they go, yeah. He goes, but here's what I'll do. If you want to hear about the 4th thing, here's a card. Write down your information and let me have it. And I'll personally call you and talk to you about it. And he says, you know what? I walk out of meetings, stacks of cards for people to call. And you know how many people I actually lead to Jesus through that? He goes, do you see what I did though? I gave them what they wanted. I influenced this desire and then they wanted more. And then I was able to give them what they truly wanted. I was able to influence people. Owen says it like this. Owen Young says, people who can put themselves in the place of other people, who can understand the working of their minds, need never worry about what the future has in store for them. So if you can get yourself thinking about what other people want and putting yourself in their shoes and understand, you know what? You lead in a more secure place. You walk in more success. And you have more people walking where you want them to go. So here's what you need to learn. Quit trying to make everybody think you're the smartest person in the room. Quit trying to make it think like your ideas are the best. Start letting other people understand and realize, hey, that was their idea, right? Because you're helping them connect with what they truly desire. And when you do that, they're going to buy into it more than they've ever bought into it. And they're actually going to start adding values and habits to their life that's going to cause growth. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this coffee talk. Can't wait to see you next week. Love you guys. Pray God's peace.